Things are bad, they make me sad. What if it were good though? Things are bad, they make me mad. What if it were good though? Okay, I got some new earbuds because I didn't like, well, no, I actually liked my old earbuds, but they stopped working when one of the ears just started getting all frazzly. And so I got some new earbuds, true wireless earbuds, Bose QC something. I'll put it in the description. And the noise canceling is great. It's Bose. The noise canceling is always going to be great. Speaking of noise canceling, I'm going to close the window. Okay. The noise canceling is great because it's Bose. They've got these lovely little tips because it's Bose. The case has this lovely little battery power meter. That's great. You get a sense of how it's going down. Aside from those things and the quality of the audio, this is a piece of shit. Yeah, basically, my case on that front is that they are kind of a little bit spotty in the ear. So what I had before was some Jabra ActiveElites, and in fact, what I have done is bought more. They broke after a few years, and honestly, I couldn't find anything on the market that I like more. So the one thing that's kind of subtly annoying about these is that they are worse than the Jabras at oh shit, oh god, they're gonna pair and that's gonna mess up the audio of this video, maybe. Let me turn off Bluetooth, hang on. Okay. So they are worse at like the subtleties of like, did you take it out or not? I found that I was listening to a podcast and I took both of them out and they kept playing or something like that. It's subtle. I can't name it, but like compared to the Jabras, which felt a lot more intuitive, these are just like, they're not doing what I feel like they should do when I take one of them out or stuff like that. They're okay at that, but they're not great. But the really big issue is that they've got touch controls, and I'm led to believe that when they first shipped, there wasn't even a touch control for turning the volume up, which is bonkers. The obvious thing you might want to do with a thing that you're listening to things on is make it louder. And they didn't even have that. Instead, they just had, next track. There's no previous track swipey. And they have play pause, and they've got one that changes the, like, can you hear outside or not, which is cool. Their system for that is better than the Jabras, I'll be honest. But they don't have, but they didn't have any previous track button. And I mean, they don't have any buttons at all. They're just touchy, swipey things. And they added through a software update, the ability to do volume up with the thing. You swipe up on the right side earbud, but it goes up 3 notches. So almost every time I want to turn the volume up, it goes up too far. Or I want to turn the volume down and it goes down too far. And like, it's a swipe control. You could have even made it so that like a little touch only goes up a little bit and like a full touch goes up the full way. But as far as I can tell, it doesn't do that. I make the tiniest little adjustment and it goes all the way up. So that's just complete bullshit. Whichever product team shipped these without a volume control should just be completely fired. Like, that's just an obvious basic thing that earbuds should have. Yeah. Personally, I have a beef with touch controls, and a friend of mine who got these as well said that he also hated them because, you go to like adjust the earbud in your ear and you accidentally hit the touch control. You go to like slightly, like scratch your ear and you hit it, or, you've got like you go to scratch your face on your shoulder and you hit the touch. Give us buttons, please. Some buttons. Anyway, that's most of what I have to say about why these suck, is that they have these touch controls which are incapable of distinguishing adequately enough between when you want to control them versus when you are just doing something else and incidentally brushing against them. I don't settle for that. Anyway, so that's why these are bad. I can talk about why the Jabras are good. They've got adequate buttons for all of these. The right earbud has one button, which you can also hold and maybe double tap and stuff. The left earbud has two little buttons with little doohickeys on them, so you can feel what you're touching. You get that feedback loop, and you know if you've pressed it. I really had very few complaints about the Jabras. So in some sense, what if they were good though? These guys that are barely being sold anymore. The newer Jabras have fewer buttons. Some of the new Jabras also have touch buttons. It's a bunch of bullshit. I don't know why capacitive buttons are becoming so popular. I imagine they are maybe cheaper or break less easily because there's fewer moving parts or something, or people are just freaking lazy and they want to do everything in software. I really don't know what's going on there. I would like to understand. If you know why the industry is doing this, tell me, because I think it is just I think it represents like some sort of weird trend thing that is not actually in touch with what's good. Let's see. But how could these be even better? I mean, one of the other things, the Bose case is substantially larger, which, I like to put these in my pockets, and there are some pockets that this just doesn't fit in anymore. And it definitely has more of a bulge effect in the pocket than these do. Although that's also exacerbated by I just got a thinner wallet. But anyway, case size is like a really important thing to optimize for with these. Now, obviously you want it as big as possible for the battery and as small as possible for space. The Bose one probably does have a longer battery, and so that's probably part of why it's bigger. The case feels maybe less efficient, but I don't think it necessarily actually is, because I don't know. I mean, you got to carve out a bunch of space for these stay here tips, which I used to love. Like I had some of the wired QuietComfort little earbuds before, and I did quite love those tips, but the Jabras stay in great without the tips, like without those tips. I was actually really impressed by that. I was expecting them to be worse, but I've never, that's the other thing. I've never had the Jabras fall out, but these, even though I'm pretty sure I'm using the same size that I used to use, seemed to sometimes feel like they were going to fall out. And then I'd go to adjust them, and then I'd push the touch button. Okay. This show is called What If It Were Good, though, and let me see if I can come up with some things that nobody else has thought of about what would make these controls good. Well, first of all, I frankly think that anytime you have buttons, you should have more buttons. And so if I were making earbuds, they would come with, somewhere in the app would be some additional programmable controls, so you could have it so that, pressing the right button 3 times or something would like start a recording. Like that'd be amazing. I'm out walking and I want to record a little voice memo to myself. Boop, boop, record. Boop, boop, and it just sends it to me or something, and it auto transcribes or whatever. Like you could just build all that stuff into your firmware. Many people wouldn't use it, but those who do would swear by it, and they'd never be able to go back to anything else. So that's one random thing. Just give people more control. Give more power to do stuff with that. I'm sure you can hard code some of that stuff with like Tasker or something, but then you're trying to override the existing buttons and meanwhile, yeah. I'm gonna hit pause while I think. Here's something kind of subtle. I'll just kind of ramble about it for a little bit. I was impressed to discover when I was in the process of switching between 2 phones that these Jabras can actually pair between multiple phones at the same time, and there's technology to support like either of them sending sound to you or something. I didn't look into it very far exactly how it works. I like to keep things simple, so like I only keep these paired with my phone. I could pair them with my computer, but I just don't want to. I like knowing what's hooked up to what, and with my computer I'm already kind of tethered, so if I want headphones, I'll just take these headphones. They're better for calls anyway because they have better latency and stuff like that. Bluetooth is not good for latency. But it occurred to me that it would be kind of interesting, and an interesting way to sort of control the whole thing. This is probably bad. Like I think probably the AirPods way of doing this is like adequate. But just as a case study, I have this keyboard called the Kinesis Freestyle 2 Blue, and it's the Bluetooth version of another keyboard that I also own, which is the same but with a cable. And it has this really cool thing where it actually has 3 Bluetooth channels. Right now you can see it's on channel 2 because I hit the connect button. Hang on. Right now you can see it's on channel 2 because the 2 is blinking, which means it wants to pair with my computer. If I hit some buttons over here, it'll switch to channel 1 and it'll pair with my phone. And there's something really powerful about having essentially a hardware control for like where do you want to connect this device? That could be a kind of neat thing to do with some earbuds, right? You just have a little switch on them, like multi-channel or like multi, channels. So like basically the thing becomes multiple Bluetooth devices, and because it's a hardware switch, you can like feel which mode it's in. You don't have to like fiddle around with a touch thing to check. Anyway, as I said, I think that's probably not worth it. Like especially since switches are probably harder to make waterproof, and again, it's another moving part. Probably not worth it, but an interesting idea. I'm having trouble coming up with much else, honestly. Frankly, I was going to be excited to buy whatever the newest version of this. It just turns out it was worse. And so hence I tried the Bose. They suck. So I bought more of these. Hopefully by the time these break in a couple years, there will be something that is actually good. Let me know in the comments if you can think of other things that would make such headphones even more awesome. Because I'm a little stumped with this one, and maybe we just actually have reached peak headphone. Lithium sulfate batteries to increase the energy density. Now we're talking. Those won't exist for another few years, so still R&D technology. Anyway, thanks for watching. Check out whatifitweregooddthough.com. That's THO. If you want to see, more videos and just like other design rants and stuff that I have. And I hope your day is free of frustration from poorly defined interfaces. Poorly defined, yeah, something like that. Poorly defined interfaces. We'll roll with it.